What's up, snappers? Welcome back to the channel. DDDREWSKY here. Today we're gonna be looking at the brand new card Goliath to see if he's worth your precious resources. We're gonna be looking at his key synergies, counters, and some decks that I brewed for him. But wait, before we do that, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I do weekly reviews of the brand new card in Marvel Snap, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that notification bell right now. Now let's get back into it. So I have some breaking news. There are potential changes with Marvel Snap, especially related with card acquisition. There will be news about it later today. So remember to keep in mind that things in my video might be out of date, but in future videos, they will be updated with the new system that's in place. So just keep a lookout for that. So now the question is, who is Goliath? Let's take a look. So Goliath in Marvel Snap is a 2-cost 1-power card with the ongoing ability of +1 power for each other ongoing card you have in play. So his ability is massive for ongoing decks. He might be even a staple in ongoing decks. He has the potential to grow in a lot of big power. And you can play him the last turn, right? Big surprise card. Definitely has a lot of value here. Very similar to speed in a way. A little bit boring, but a lot of value if you can pull off the ability. Now let's break down the pros and cons about Goliath. So the first pro that I want to talk about is the potential 12 power. If you have all the cards in your lanes ongoing, then he could be a 12 powered card, but more than likely on average, maybe 7 or 8 power is good for him. So his potential of power at a 2 cost is crazy. Another good point about him is that it's lots of ongoing cards in Marvel Snap. 69, right? Nice. There's potential of a lot of ongoing cards that can work with him. They just need to be ongoing, so his ability is very easy to fulfill, and there's a lot of ongoing cards that you can pair him up with that I'll show in the future of the video. So he has a board wide effect, which is crazy. I initially read this as just in his lane, but I opened up my eyes and I saw that you could potentially affect the entire board of your side, which is crazy. So now let's talk about the cons about him. He's going to be in very predictable decks. He's going to be situated with a lot of ongoing cards. So more than likely, your opponent's going to know how to counter you. So be careful of that. So another big con about him is that he's very easy to counter. I will mention the counters later in the video, but there are tons of counters that can counter him. And another bad thing about him is that he's very low in base power. If he gets countered, then 1 power is really bad for a 2-cost card. Now let's take a look at the synergies and counters for Goliath. So the first synergy that I want to talk about is Mystique. Of course, Mystique can copy Goliath's ability, which is crazy. If you have 2 Goliaths on the board, it's even better, and she becomes an ongoing card, so even more value for him. Another synergy is Spectrum. Of course, Spectrum powers up these ongoing cards, so Goliath and other cards that are in those decks will love Spectrum. Moonstone is a great synergy with Goliath. Goliath being a 2-cost card, you can pair her up in his lane and then double up that effect, which is crazy. So now let's talk about the counters. Super Scroll, of course, is a huge counter against Goliath, especially replicating his ability. He's going to get all that power as well, and he's a 2-powered card, right? So he's going to have more power than Goliath. Enchantress, of course, is a counter to Goliath. Enchantress loves ongoing cards, so be careful of Enchantress. Shang-Chi is a counter for Goliath. If he raises in power more than 10, then of course Shang-Chi will destroy him. Now let's take a look at the decks that I brewed. I think they're pretty fun and competitive. Let's take a look. So the first deck that we have is called Goliathgoing. So this is my iteration on the ongoing archetype. This has a lot of spice, a little bit of nice, and it can surprise your opponent. Ant-Man has good value here, especially being an ongoing card. You definitely want to pair up Ant-Man with Goliath. Goliath is definitely better used for a last turn play. You definitely don't want to play him early on, then your opponent will know what you're doing with the Goliath, so I would definitely wait for the later turns with him. Sam Wilson, Captain America, is an ongoing card, and the Shield is an ongoing card, so it has tremendous value in this list. I'll explain why. Mystique, you could use Mystique to copy Goliath, or you can save Mystique for the later turns to copy any of these ongoing cards. Mr. Fantastic, definitely play him on the middle lane if you can. If not, then you could definitely play him in other lanes if you can't reach the middle lane. Luke Cage is really here just for the anti-venom synergy. If you get a card from anti-venom, then Luke Cage will revert that card back to its original stats. And then again, of course, Luke Cage is great against all those toxic lists that are going around in the meta. Captain America has great synergy with Sam Wilson, Captain America, and of course he's an ongoing card, so definitely huge value with the shield as well. Cosmo is just a great counter and a protector of any of the ongoing cards in this list. You could use Cosmo to protect Goliath, or you can even use Cosmo with Mystique. Moonstone has tremendous value in playing in the lane of Goliath or even Mystique or Mr. Fantastic. Anti-Venom, just like I mentioned, has synergy with Luke Cage. Getting a free cost card is insane, and then reverting it back with Luke Cage is awesome. Iron Man is a lane winner, so definitely you can pair him up with Mystique or just have a lane with Goliath or any combination really, but more than likely you'll be winning that lane with Iron Man. Spectrum is a great finisher in this list, especially with all the cards here are ongoing, so all the cards will get juiced up with Spectrum. Now let's take a look at my second list. So this list is called Goliath Surfin. This is my take on the Silver Surfer archetype mixed with some low cost cards and tremendous value for Goliath. So Goliath, you definitely want to save for the later turns to surprise your opponent. Ravonna, tremendous value in this list, especially with all the cards that are in this list, like Cassandra Nova, Mystique, Sage, Iron Man. Goliath himself is a one powered card, so there's synergy with Ravonna. Cassandra Nova is just huge value, especially with the meta that we're currently in, with a lot of Airshim or Agamotto or even Thanos. Mystique, you definitely want to pair her up with Goliath or Iron Man. Sage is definitely should be used for the later turns. You can definitely surprise your opponent and win that lane. Brood has definitely a lot of value here, especially being paired up with Galacta. Powering up those broodlings is insane with Galacta. Silver Surfer, definitely save him for the last turn. You definitely want to surprise your opponent if you have Silver Surfer. Triple M, Mobius, tremendous value right now, especially with all the energy that's cheating right now. So, and he's an ongoing card here as well. Gladiator, you can even combine with Galacta and make him a 311, which is crazy. Galacta, like I mentioned, could be paired up with any of these cards here, really to power them up, but main targets are probably Brood and Gladiator. Iron Man, of course, you should definitely be playing him in a lane that you need to win that lane. You can even combine him with Galacta as well. That +3 is crazy. Sarah is just to discount cards even more and then have a very last minute burst of a lot of cards on the last turn. So this list has a few ongoing cards here that work well with Goliath. He's not going to get a massive amount of power here, but again, he has a lot of ongoing cards in this list, so it could work out and have a decent amount of power. Now let's take a look at my third and final list. So this list is called Dr. Goliath. This is my iteration of the Dr. Doom 2099 type of list with a lot of ongoing cards and brings a lot of value to Goliath. So Ant-Man, of course, is an ongoing card here. More than likely, you should be able to fill in certain lanes with him. Goliath being an ongoing card fits perfectly in this list. There's so much ongoing in this list. So Goliath, tremendous value. Sam Wilson, Captain America, him and his shield are ongoing. So very good value for Goliath. Captain America shares the same value as Sam Wilson, especially being ongoing. And then the shield boosts in power for both of them. Cosmo, like I mentioned, is a great tech counter card for any type of situation. So you can use him to protect any of your cards or obviously, you know, counter your opponent. Triple M, Mobius is a great tech counter, especially with all the energy discounting that's happening. Super Scroll is great in this list just to protect yourself or to counter your opponents, like a mirror matchup. If they're running Goliath, then you basically have a stronger Goliath on your side. Doom 29, tremendous value here, especially with the Doom bots being ongoing. So the more Doom bots you have, Goliath will thrive on. For Iron Lad, there's really no bad hits with this list. So Iron Lad has tremendous value replicating any of the cards here. Blue Marvel, tons of value, especially with all the bots that are out there. Definitely can bring more value to any of those bots. Dr. Doom is one of the best 6-cost cards in the game. Those Doom bots aren't ongoing, but again, you can bring a lot of tremendous value of just filling lanes. Spectrum is just a great finisher in this list, especially most of these cards in this list being ongoing. Now let's take a look at the spotlights that are featured with Goliath. So Goliath is with Cersei and Gwenpool. Goliath is a Series 5 card, Cersei is Series 5, and Gwenpool is Series 5. So if you don't have any of these cards, I would say definitely use keys. So for Cersei, I would say she's definitely not a must-have. If you like fun cards, then definitely you can go pick her up, but more than likely you should probably pass on her. She's definitely not a lot of meta decks. Gwenpool has been awesome since day one of her release. That +2 power in your hand is really good, so she's definitely a must-have if you don't have her. For the Spotlight variants, I really enjoyed the Goliath. I think it looks really cool with his pose, and him being large is awesome. Cersei, I'm not huge on. She definitely has better shop variants
So if you don't really have a variant for her, I would definitely wait for her in the shop.
So for the Gwenpool variant, I think her art style is really cool. Definitely straight from the comics. If you don't have a variant for her,
Definitely worth having.
so remember guys, to have 4 keys before opening in a week. You definitely don't want to miss out on a card or a variant that you really want. So make sure you have 4 keys. So now let's take a look at the community predictions for Goliath. So they think S tier 2 stars,
A tier 4 stars, C tier 2 stars, and F tier a half star. So there's a lot of hype and they believe that Goliath will be very strong A tier.
so here's a community response from Amos Cut. Thank you again for your response about the brand new card.
They said, reminds me of Speed a lot. Nothing exciting, in fact, quite boring. But he will get big if your deck supports him. Seems a clean A and is worth having if you enjoy ongoing decks. Being an ongoing itself, to not have to be played on 2, like Speed, is pretty awesome too. So I agree with this statement 100%. Definitely very similar to Speed, right? It's great that he's an ongoing card and you don't have to play him on curve like Speed, right? So it really depends on how you build the decks. If you have a lot of ongoing cards, then a tremendous value for Goliath. I definitely agree that the card is going to be very boring, but a lot of value because of that power, right? And it's very easy ability to achieve.
And the last statement, that it doesn't have to be played on 2. You definitely want to save them for the later turns as a surprise play for your opponent. So totally agree with you. So if you want to be featured in the next video, make sure you follow my community post about the brand new card. And thank you guys again for your feedback. Now let's take a look at my star ratings for Goliath.
So for competitive, I give him a 4 stars. I believe he's going to be very strong, very easy ability to achieve.
It really depends on if you can draw and play out those ongoing cards, making sure that they're on the board. And you can surprise your opponent at the end of the game with him and bring tremendous value to just ongoing decks in general.
So for fun, I gave him a 1.5 stars. I don't believe a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this because, again, it's just a stat stick.
It's not really anything too flashy at all. It's just like Speed, just like what everyone mentioned. Speed is very boring, but it's actually pretty good card.
So definitely don't sleep on Goliath. I think the power value is definitely there, but again, you know, a lot of people are going to think it's going to be very boring.
So for flexibility, I gave him a 3 stars. I believe he definitely can be flexible in a way, but I gave him -2 stars because, again, he's surrounded by ongoing cards. So more than likely your opponent's going to know what you're doing.
And it's very niche in a way, right? Because again, you want more and more ongoing cards to bring value to him. For future changes, I gave him a 2.5 stars. Maybe if he gets out of control, he'll get nerfed, but I don't really see him getting buffed. So if anything, he'll definitely get nerfed, if anything. But I would say 2.5 stars is definitely safe for him.
Now let's take a look at my final review of Goliath. Is he worth a snapper skip? Let's take a look. So for pre-series 3 owners, I would say 3 stars. You're definitely going to be missing some cards that will work better for him.
But oddly enough, there are some cards that might be missing that you need for him to work. I know a lot of early ongoing cards can work with him, but there are some that you're going to be missing that, you know, can make him a lot better.
For Series 3 owners, I would say 4 stars. You're definitely going to have majority of the cards that should work with him.
I would definitely say it's safe to get him if you really enjoy the playstyle. For Series 4 and 5 owners, you're definitely going to be having a lot of cards that work well with him. It really depends on your flavor of what you want to pair him up with, but more than likely it should be safe to pick him up if you really want him.
So for the archetypes that he works well with are
Ongoing, Surfer, and Doom. So with that being said, I would say definitely a snap.
Definitely pick him up if you like ongoing cards or if you like ongoing decks. So just to warn you guys, the card is very boring. So if you don't like boring style cards, if you didn't like Speed, then definitely skip this card. But I believe the value is tremendous with his power. And again, it really depends on what you build with. And the decks that I featured are pretty strong right now in the current meta. So he's definitely valuable in a way. I think his ability is very easy to achieve and his power output is pretty good. So what are your thoughts on Goliath? Did I miss any synergies? Did I miss any decks that he works well with? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I would love for you to be a part of this amazing community here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys on the next Snapper Skip. Happy snapping.